Welcome back to our Lips Unsealed podcast. Today we have with us two special guests. We have a full house here today. We have Kean and Jody Cronk. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, gang.
And as always, Bobby Small and his crazy background. Chris, do you want to start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a solutions architect for a steel company in Indiana. I've been with the company for going on 20 years, mostly in the IT sector, been bouncing all over, doing lots of fun stuff. So started with AX 2012 about 8 years ago and 365 about 3 or 4 years ago. So it's been a ride.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was 20 years in IT before I jumped into the partner side and the community side, supporting AX 2009 and 12. So similar paths, man. And I saw you just bumped yourself up in position or a different position over at your company. Congrats.
Yep. Position did just change. So that's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. And then Jody, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Hi, Jody Cronk. I'm with the City of Columbus, and I've been in the Dynamics space for about 10 years now. Started out in manufacturing with AX 2009. Spent some time doing implementations with a private company for D365 F&O, and started here with the city about 3 years ago. So traded all of my inventory costing for budgets and encumbrances. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, fun. Change is fun. Change is fun.
Yeah, Bobby, you know all about change. You've had one recently for yourself.
Well, yeah. I'm now working with the community directly. Something I've been doing for 15 years on and off, and 10 years solid. Organizing, and with Jody and I've done a couple of years of organizing in different events, and just doing it full time now, which is pretty exciting. Always hate moving on from different spots. I usually, like Chris, I've been not a job hopper. 20 years previously, before that 10 years, just love riding things out. But this was just a good opportunity, and excited for it.
Yeah, very excited for you, and very excited to still be working with you closely, obviously.
Yeah.
Be able to
always
still
enjoy the pod.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we're here today to talk about our event that Ellipse Solutions hosts, D365 Tech Connect. Chris and Jody, you've both been in attendance for. Jody, have you been there a couple of years in the past, right? As well as Chris,
I have,
maybe?
Yeah, I've been there 2 years.
Nice. Yeah, so we're here to talk about that. And for those of you who don't know, D365 Tech Connect is a technical event that we put on. It's a 2-day event, and we just have an abundance of sessions ranging from Copilot, artificial intelligence, machine learning, just all of that good stuff. And a fun thing about D365 Tech Connect is it's a little bit smaller than those other events, such as like Summit or Dynamics Con Live or things like that, which are obviously both great events, but ours is just a little different, and where it's a little more intimate and things like that. So, Jody, do you want to kind of kick us off with what your experience has been with Tech Connect?
Sure. So like I said, I've been at least 2 years. I don't think it's been 3. I think it's been the last 2 years for sure. And I've really enjoyed it. It's like you said, it is a smaller venue, much more intimate. The topics are more technically focused, which I'm more of an operational supporter, but I really like being involved in the technical discussions to kind of know what's available. So I know what I'm asking for when I reach out to our developers. And just the ability to kind of chat with the speakers, have lunch together, do the community service event after the event is always a lot of fun. And it is just it's really nice to get to know people instead of just kind of passing them in the hall between sessions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, just Chris, did you ever go to the Microsoft technical conference when it was being held in Seattle every year?
We did not know.
Yeah, so this is really how D365 Tech Connect was born. Microsoft put on a once a year technical conference that was, think about Tech Connect, but on steroids, just really huge 3 or 4 day event at Microsoft. I looked the last time I was there. I was actually there. It might not have been the last time. It might have been the first time. I was there when they announced Satya as the new president, leader of Microsoft. It was kind of a huge deal. They're like, we got this big announcement, and then all of a sudden, here it is. I want to say that Ballmer had stepped down and that Satya had stepped in. So it was fun to be there at that moment. But getting that access to, literally the guy who wrote X++, Peter Volodson is there talking about X++. And so this is what the team at Ellipse decided that, hey, they wanted to do this for their team and created this event around just 100% technical topics. And after a couple of years of doing this internally, decided, hey, other people might want to share this too. It's again 100% educational, a charity component, which is really fun, and yeah, you get the access. That was the crazy thing. You get to talk to the people who are doing this, and it does. Even as a functional person, you get that behind the scenes ability to know what's possible. So when you say, hey, I think we can do this, and then they can't argue back, no, and you're like, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I talked to the guy that wrote it. He says you can. So,
Yeah.
So it's kind of that kind of access is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Chris, do you want to kind of speak on your experience at D365 Tech Connect in the years past?
Sure. So I believe, if I'm remembering right, it's been a minute, we attended the summit in 2021, and actually I helped my boss win the Who Wants to Be a Microsoft Millionaire at the booth.
Yeah.
And so we not only walked away with $20, but we walked away with some invites to the first public D365 Tech Connect. So at the time, we were kind of looking around for a new partner and jumped into working with Ellipse. And the first conference was really cool, and we've been going since then. And it is, as Jody said, it's really cool to kind of meet some of the people that, you might interact with on Teams every once in a while, but to meet them in person and get to hang out with them and ask them all kinds of questions that you didn't get to answer or ask them earlier or whatever was a lot of fun, and kind of, put some shake some hands for people you've only ever seen online. And then the event itself is just a lot of fun. Like the presentations are really good. They're really technical. Sometimes it's stuff that we don't even touch, but it's really kind of cool to see it in action and see how much work's been put into it. The first night, they kind of do like a dinner and trivia thing, and I love trivia, so that was right up my alley. So that was great. And then the second day, the charity event with the bike building adds a little bit of competition to the wrap up of it, and is a lot of fun to see how fast you can put together a bike. And one of the things that always kind of amuses me is you get so many bikes together and you're like, how do people do this on Christmas morning on no sleep? You're like, I can barely do this, and I've been here for the whole day, and I've got the instructions with me, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
And a team of technical people helping you. It's not just one-to-one.
Right,
You've got a
exactly,
whole team
yeah.
of people.
Yeah, we all should be able to handle this, and none of us can figure out where this wire goes and why these aren't fitting together.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that we're always throwing like a wrench in your plans, and it's like, oh, you need this hammer? Just kidding. We're going to take it away from you. Like,
literally taking away a wrench from your plans, like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
I think that the last year, I wasn't there last year because of COVID. I flew into Ohio, landed, felt a little scratchy and a little achy, and I thought, it'd be funny if I had COVID. Got to my hotel and felt worse, and was like, yep, I've got COVID. So I missed out. But yeah, the year before we had the whole thing where we had to win tools, and it was kind of like a whole weird competition of like, oh, you get a penny instead of a screwdriver. You get a, just a block of wood instead of a hammer, and you can steal things back and forth. That was a bit frenetic, but I think we've got something different planned this year. Still impactful, still fun, but a little bit different than what we've done before. So.
Yeah, we do. We're not doing bike building this year. Instead, we're going to have like a golf course kind of deal. And we're going to have like canned goods and just different donations that we're going to give to Flock still, which is the the organization that we always donate to. It stands for Love of Children. But so yeah, we're gonna donate all of those goods to it. But you guys are gonna have to make your own golf course based out of these different items. And then you're going to get to golf on other people's courses. And it's going to be like kind of like a whose course is the most difficult, who has the most unique course, that kind of deal. So we're switching it up a little bit this year, but we're still donating to the cause and everything. So I'm kind of excited to see how this one works out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, you build your course, you golf the course, and then all the stuff is at the end packaged up and donated. So it should be a kind of a different, unique, fun way to go about the same, like you said, team building, charity, fun, exercise.
So the new venue has more room then?
Yes.
Yeah. Which is your point. We're small, but you mentioned it's an intimate, event, and it is, and that's the awesome part about this. You get to spend 2 days and should be able to talk to everybody at length, whoever you're interested in talking to there. But we did have to move to a new venue. Just outgrowing the library, unfortunately, which is fun. It was a nice space that we had there, a really fun, amphitheater like thing. But this new space is a little bit bigger, giving us a little bit of room to stretch out and do some fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you bring up a good point, Jody. Yeah, instead of the just one room at the library, which all of our sessions are still going to be in that one room, which is nice that you guys don't have to like move around from session to session. But it also comes with like a whole lobby space. It comes with an additional room where we're going to have the charity event and some other things. So yeah, definitely room to spread out and do some different things that we're very excited about this year. So.
And we're still having a first night dinner and such. Savannah, what's the deal there? We're going to an Irish pub.
Yeah, it's called Dublin Pub. So practice your Irish jig, Chris. You look like you might have a good one. I don't know.
We don't have an Irish jig competition.
Yes, yeah. So we'll still have that networking aspect. Get together for some good food and drinks, and we'll definitely still be having trivia. That's been kind of a staple for our event on the first night. Like Chris said, just some friendly competition. People really get into it. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So looking forward to that again as well. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Got some cool Microsoft. So Rachel, who's just been a stalwart attendee, super smart, been doing this a long time. She'll be joining us. Ian Jensen, who was there last year for the first time, really super fun technical guy, loves doing the dev stuff. Straight up full-time developer. So and he's he does a great job presenting. And then we've added a new person who's focused on AI, who we met earlier this year at an event. And really liked his presentation on Copilot and AI. So he'll be joining us from Microsoft as well.
Yes. Yeah. Jared Hall is the new guy. So yeah, really excited to welcome back those two, and Jared being the new guy on the stage, but it'll be great getting to meet him and everything as well.
We did miss that last year when Bobby couldn't be there for the Back to the Future stuff with Rachel. So.
I know.
Yes.
Rachel and I had worked out a whole thing. We
out.
worked months on it. Yeah. I traveled with my outfit. I even took a picture. I got dressed up, even, under COVID circumstances, dressed up in my outfit and took a picture to send to her, which I think she used. I created a whole PowerPoint with fun graphics and everything to slide in. Yeah.
Lots of activity on that PowerPoint. So
yeah, I was super disappointed. I've got FOMO anyway. So to be that close and not be able to come over was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that did stink, Bobby. Hopefully that doesn't happen again this year. But I actually ran into Bobby out trying to find a mask at Five Below, and I was like, "Are you okay?" No.
Yep. I was also looking for a mask and out buying a COVID test. Just so it's, awful.
Yes. Yeah. Shoot, I forgot what else I was going to say. Anything else? Any other? I was going to say, yeah, Rachel always has fun things planned in her presentations. Like last year, she dressed up. The year before, she also dressed up. I forget. She had on a funky hat. Yeah.
Yeah. She had her big winter hat on.
Yes.
And she needed it. That year, we were cold.
Yeah, it was very cold that year. You're right.
Yeah. She's definitely a must-see adventure out there in the speaking world for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she has planned this year. Always something up her sleeve.
It's always cutting edge topics too. That's the goal, is to try to present topics that are on the cutting edge, so people are learning a little bit of what's coming up ahead or popular at the moment. So all that, the agenda's out there. It's looking pretty good.
Well, and I've had problems that were, or not problems, challenges we were facing that have come up in conversation and gotten solutions that way too, just from the networking piece, not even
Yeah.
part of a presentation or planned education. Just when you're talking with that um, experienced group of people, everyone has uh, everyone has a problem solving perspective. So if you
Yeah.
mention a challenge, they're trying to help you find a solution. They just can't help it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you, I guess the whole room, it's not just the
Yeah.
Ellipse folks that are
Yeah.
there, because you've got the entire Ellipse like dev team, the architects,
Mhm.
the BAs, the project managers, they're all there, either speaking or just there. But you've got all these smart people like Chris and Jody who are there too, that have done this for 20 plus years, collectively a lot of knowledge in the room from a peer and a partner slash ISV slash
Mhm.
Microsoft perspective. You got everybody kind of there, and like I said, the ability to talk to everybody is possible. That's the best part for me, is you've got an open ear, and people are, like you said, they're itching to help you. So
Mhm.
Well, and that's my favorite thing about every conference I've ever been to is the opportunity to network, chat with people who use the project or product, hear the different problems that they're solving, the things that they're tackling. Because even if you don't have that same, like I'm public sector, I don't have the same challenges that Chris has being a steel manufacturer.
yeah,
But once you hear the way that someone has solved a problem, a lot of times you can apply that solution to something that you're experiencing,
yeah,
and that part is just invaluable. And Tech
Mhm.
Connect is great because it is a um, like you said, it's an intimate environment and it's a really affordable conference to attend. That's the other thing that is just huge. It's
Yeah.
really affordable.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in the tri-state area, I mean, if you're traveling, obviously you're adding travel costs, but
Right.
for folks that are drivable or light flight, it's pretty, it's a pretty decent conference. You hate to miss something, the opportunity like this, again, to have that kind of access to networking mainly, and then the education is a pretty good, it's a pretty good deal. Like I said, it's right now, is it $99, $89?
Yeah, $89. And for I mean, the early bird discount code just ended, but if you were to register before October, you got 25% off that price as well.
Yeah.
So you can't really beat that.
No, that's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, our goal is just for education and to provide that to everyone. We're not really trying to profit off this event really too much at all. So that's kind of where we're coming from with that. So we just want people to join us and be able to share with everyone what we have going on here. So
And I bet if you even asked nicely, Savannah would give you a super secret discount code.
if you throw in a pretty please, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely have good things going on. I know one of my favorite things from last year's event was during Ian's presentation, the microphone was literally being like zigzagged around the room, and like everybody was like
Yep.
giving their 2 cents, or there was a question here and someone over here was like, oh, I know the answer. It went back to Ian. And so, yeah, the collaboration there is just phenomenal, and it's great to see with everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it is nice when you get people from Microsoft themselves. Like sometimes you
Mhm.
can ask questions that you've had that you're like, I really need to talk to somebody on the inside about this. And they can kind of be like, well, it's coming, or we're working on this, we're doing this. They kind of know what's going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes. And you get a little bit of a sneak preview as to I'm
Yeah.
having this problem. It'd be super great if you fixed it. And they're like, well, yeah, give it like 6 months. You'll be good.
Yep. Or they know somebody, like you said, it's like they don't
Right.
know, but they know somebody. They can get an answer pretty quickly, and they love
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah, I used to do that for events all the time. If I knew Microsoft was going to be at an event, I would be saving up questions as an end user just to ask. Like I came prepared with like list of questions. Like here's my, just trying to get them in wherever I could from different people to try to get my problem solved or questions answered.
Yeah, and you get that Jody said, the intimate contact with them. Whereas when you're at one of the bigger conferences, maybe you get some time to kind of talk to somebody who might know somebody who works at Microsoft, or you don't get quite as much of that one-on-one time because there are so many other people there that
Yeah.
are kind of vying for attention and things like that. So it's very nice to get that smaller setting to have the opportunity to talk to some people about stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, all good points for sure. Yeah, I feel like we've kind of touched on a lot of the things as to like why attend Tech Connect and how it's different and everything like that. Do you guys have any other final remarks before we kind of go into our fun questions and close it out?
I don't think so. No, like I said, we've had some technical challenges here at the city this year, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to make it. I'll be a kind of a last minute addition.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
but my fingers
you've
are
got a
crossed.
stretch of it. Yeah, you've got a stretch of interesting, activity, like you said.
They're predicting now end of October for everything to be back up and working.
Yeah, that's
So
it's not uncommon. I've had a friend who got hit, and they ended up cordoning off one office, like literally one office at a building in the UK where they did all their computing out of, and they had this was a oil and gas company. They faxed orders to this one office. They would then take them in, and then they would, this one
wow.
computer was running, and they would enter the orders into the system until they could get out from under this attack they had. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we're
crazy.
lucky in that most of our outward facing systems were restored pretty quickly.
yeah,
But
still the
we're
aftermath
still
is
dealing
still.
with some challenges. Mostly just access where things are secured and having to kind of jump through hoops to get to them
Yeah. Well,
still.
we're crossing our fingers you can join too.
Yes, thanks and prayers, Jody. That stuff is
Thanks.
no fun to deal with. Goodness. Well, okay. Well, what Bobby and I have been doing recently to close out our episodes is just to end on like a silly fun note. So I have some fun random questions for you guys if you'd like to entertain us and play along.
Sure.
So yeah, the first question I have for you guys is, what was your go-to Halloween costume as a kid? It's October 1st, so we're kind of getting into the spooky theme of everything around here.
I'll go first. I was a football player. I played little league football, so I always had gear. So I was at least twice, I think, maybe
Yeah.
3 times. I'd throw the shoulder pads on and a jersey and put a helmet on and go collect some candy.
Yeah, easy enough. Your mom's like, I don't want to buy another one. Just take this one, Bobby. That's what my mom would do too. I was Little Miss Piggy for like a couple years. I resurfaced that
Fun.
costume a couple times. So
Mine would have been I was a hobo a couple years. Again, because it was easy.
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, you
So,
need a
yeah,
bindle sniffer. That's about all you need.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was easy.
Yeah. Put on some jeans with holes in them or something
Yep.
and call it a day.
Because when I was a kid, that was before jeans with holes in them were popular and a fashion statement.
Somehow we managed to convince my dad to make most of our costumes, and he would just kind of go all in on them. So
Nice.
I had a Batman costume and a Spider-Man costume, and it was like not like the stuff you buy off the shelf. It was like, sweats with beaded paint and, full mask and stuff. So
Nice.
he did a good job with that. And you look at old pictures and you're like, I don't know that I could make a costume like that, but
Yeah.
there it was.
You've got it in you, Chris. I did that for my kids 1 year. I mean, many years, but one that sticks out. It was actually a book event. It was like a costume, it was a school event. Come dressed as your favorite book character. And my daughter wanted to go as the mouse in the motorcycle. And so I took a scooter, one of those, what are they called? Blades? Is that right? That didn't sound right. Razor scooter.
Razor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took a Razor scooter and I built an entire cardboard facade around it with a working little smoke thing that came out. That was the motorcycle that you could ride around. And then she had a mouse costume. Yeah. I didn't make that.
Wow.
But I don't sew. I wish I need to learn to sew. I think that'd be the next step. If I could learn to sew, I'd be really like super extra crafty. But I'm good with like just weird found materials around my house. Like that, that'll just always be a thing. It's like, oh yeah, I can make that, no problem. I got junk in the garage. We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Bobby, you are creative. Sewing is something that would be super beneficial to know how to pick up on like so many different levels.
Do you sew, right? Do you sew?
I do so.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I just finished without going into too much detail, I do 18th century reenactment. So French and Indian War time period. And a lot of those clothes are very simple. Like
Mhm.
the idea you didn't have now on the East Coast, everything was pretty fitted, right? They tried to emulate what they were wearing in Europe. But once you got out to the
Fancy.
frontier, everything was shirts are just kind of a big tee. Uh, petticoats are just a long skirt with drawstrings. So I just recently though took the one of the jacket patterns from that and made myself a modern everyday wear flannel jacket.
Cool. Yeah.
Um,
See, that's where I need
so
to get.
yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm not crafty like that. I know how to crochet, and that's only blankets, like the most simple thing that you can
that's
do.
no, but still, because I can't crochet or knit.
That's on
Okay.
my list too. Yeah, I just want to make something
Yeah,
like that. Like I make other things, but I want to make something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to swap trades, Jody.
there you go. We can
There we
trade
go.
skills. Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Well, okay. I'll move on to the next question. In your mind, what consists of the perfect s'more? Like, are you like them burnt to a crisp? Are you more just like a little bit of brown on there? What's going on with your s'more?
I'm gonna throw out. I don't understand how people can burn a marshmallow and still eat it. It's just like my wife is that way. She will burn the marshmallow, and that's the only way she'll eat it. And I'm like, that's gross. Bleh. I'm like, I'll brown it
Right
up.
in
I'll
the
get it
fire.
nice
Just,
and warm
yeah,
so
just
it's
right in the
gooey.
fire. Unrecognizable.
Yeah. She's like, I won't touch it if it hasn't actually been on fire. And I'm like,
Oh my
ugh.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
Warm,
one
gooey.
perfectly
That's good.
brown. Yeah, perfectly brown on all sides and really gooey in the middle, but not burnt.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely not burnt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. This is probably sacrilege, but I don't like s'mores. I like chocolate. I like graham crackers, and I like marshmallows untoasted. But together is just too much for me. I
Yeah.
will pass on the s'more.
It is
Yeah,
a
my
lot going
husband
on.
won't. Yeah, my husband won't touch them because he doesn't like marshmallows in any form. So,
No, I do like marshmallows. Like I will eat just I could eat a marshmallow for sure.
Mhm. Just not crisp.
Not crisp, but if I did, I would be with Jody. There's an art in making it perfectly brown and
Mhm.
creating that crust, and then the inside is perfectly melted all the way through. There's a skill in that.
Yes, that's for sure. I do prefer them that way, like brown and golden all the way around, but I hate to admit I get really impatient sometimes. And so I just like
challenge.
throw it straight in the fire, let it burn, blow it off, and then eat it because I just like can't wait.
It could take minutes, like 5 minutes to get that perfect marshmallow.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Yep.
hold it at the right angle and turn
Yeah.
and there's a lot to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you want to get it like just close enough to the flame and then it pops up and then it's all over and it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my last question is, do you prefer pumpkin spice flavored drinks or apple cider? Or maybe not either. If you have a different preferable fall drink, you can throw that out there as well.
I jump on the peppermint mocha train when Christmas comes around. Like Starbucks, when they're throwing down peppermint mochas, I'm right there in line for sure. And I just started having a pumpkin spice every once in a while. Like I like the flavoring for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you guys?
I like pumpkin spice, but I'm also a big fan of a good hard English cider, apple cider. So I got to go with both.
Yeah. Just one in each hand.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I'm in the apple cider boat. I do not like pumpkin spice anything. So
anything. So yeah, your life's ruined about this time because you can't buy goods that aren't pumpkin spice flavored. Like everything,
it is everywhere.
You got a pumpkin spice variety. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like has Oreo had a pumpkin spice Oreo? It feels like is it probably a thing or should be a thing. Like the
Probably.
cake would be replaced with a pumpkin spice.
I feel like they definitely
cinnamon cream.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm things that are traditionally pumpkin flavored pie. I like the pumpkin spice latte, stuff like that. But they, like pumpkin spice Cheerios and some of those, that's too much for me. I'm not into that.
Yeah, if you walk into Target now or whatever grocery store and there's throwing pumpkin spice stuff at you, it's like bam,
Right.
bam, bam, getting hit left and right with all this pumpkin spice stuff. And yeah, I agree. I have no interest in trying pumpkin spice Oreos, but I like pumpkin spice cake. Yes, that's
Right,
definitely on
yeah.
the list. Yeah, the pie. All right, I'm down with it. And I will go with the. So, Chris, do you not like pumpkin pie? Is that also off the list?
I don't like pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
The only thing
Fair enough.
pumpkin that I enjoy are like roasted pumpkin seeds. is
Okay.
it.
Ooh, yep.
But
Yeah.
everything else from the pumpkin is gross.
A nice boiled stem, perhaps.
No, nope, no. Just take a big old bite out of the side of one like a giant
Yeah.
apple.
arr.
Yeah.
That's how you carve your pumpkin. Just start eating away at the eye area and the
Right,
mouth.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big like pumpkin spice drink kind of girl, but I do like the pumpkin pie, pumpkin roll, all that. But so I lean more on the apple cider, especially like we like to get it from like the farmer's market where it's more fresh and I feel like crisp. So that's kind of where I tend to go on that kind of debate. So yeah, those are all the questions I have for you guys. Thanks
Good
for
one.
kind of playing along there. And yeah, do we have anything else before we want to close out, Bobby?
No, thanks to Chris and Jody for joining us, and
Yes.
looking forward to Tech Connect this year. It's going to be a good one. Like I said, expanding, fun new charity event, and lots of good education. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to see you there, Chris, and hopefully Jody will see you as
fingers
well.
crossed.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, sounds
Take
good.
care.
Bye-bye.